guys. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Nicole L. King, and I am so excited for you to be here for Get Uplifted 2020. We are creating community through wellness, fitness, beauty, mindset, and positivity. And I am here with my girl, Molly Egan, and we're going to be talking about all things about life, career coaching, and like I said, we're going to be talking about many topics. So if we get off track and we start going down another way, bear with us because it'll be some amazing knowledge. Molly, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me. I feel so honored and lucky and just appreciative of you for putting on such a magnificent event that I have no doubt is going to help so many people during a really challenging year and kind of during this holiday season and beyond, just kind of navigating those weird times in life. And I think it's just a fantastic mission that you are kind of leading here. I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, guys. Molly is the first person to say yes that actually was the one who propelled Get Uplifted 2020 to be a thing. So thank you so much, Molly, for saying yes and just, always being on my corner and just being like, yes. She's literally, guys, Molly is incredible. I mean, if you haven't followed her stories or her Instagram, she has the most amazing Instagram stories and posts just filled with knowledge. They're like mini lessons in every single one. So I highly suggest you go follow Molly Egan right now while you're listening to this.
Thank you.
Yeah. So where do we start? I mean, I was just thinking about last night. We have known each other since 2008.
Yes. Nicole and I have known each other back in our beach money days. Nicole and I lived in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware you had been there for kind of a couple summers, and it's kind of where you grew up, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can talk to me here, but I was doing kind of the hashtag beach life, working the summer, doing the beach thing. And it's funny, guys, before we were getting ready for this, Nicole and I were saying how back in the day we'd be getting ready together to go out, but now we're kind of getting ready together to talk together, to bring this idea together and to kind of step into this light of being our most exciting and highest selves. So just a funny reflection. And yeah, we've known each other for quite some years now. It's really been cool to be in and out of each other's lives, and we come and go, and we reconnect and support each other or send people each other's way. And it's just been a very easy friendship and just so valuable.
100%.
And this is just so exciting to be a part of and watch you put this on too. So
thank you. I appreciate it. It's so fun to see where when we knew each other in 2008 to see where our lives kind of have grown in our careers, and just, it's crazy. If you would have asked us, when we were waitressing at Grotto Pizza down in Rehoboth Beach, we got to shout it out because if it wasn't for them, we all wouldn't be here. Also where I met my husband, same summer. If it wasn't for that, I mean, if someone asked us, where would you see yourself in 12 years? Would you believe that we're at where we are now? Well, number one, we wouldn't have even dreamed of 2020, but other than that.
I know. I think back in the day, and I'm sure we'll talk on this topic too, I can so remember not, and I think it's totally fine to not I don't encourage people worry about the future or be, overly concerned with the future. But I remember myself at that time, definitely, living this day-to-day life, and there's so much fun in that. And I think that is a really great thing to experience, and freedom and flexibility. So answer to that question is I definitely would not have been even thinking of what 2020 would be like. I thought for sure by now we'd be in hovercrafts or something.
I know, it's so true. 2020 seemed like the far distant future. It didn't even seem a realistic thing, and now we're in it. And I think it's so amazing to see how our lives have weaved in and out. And I guess to first start it off, I just want to know how you got into career coaching, life coaching, all of the above. What has been your journey? Share it with everybody.
Awesome question. So, I really fell into the world of coaching by accident and at a very low point in my life, which I think we can reflect back on. Everyone has their low, right? We're not comparing lows to each other, and how, for example, I used to hear people's stories when they had these crazy, tragic things happen to them and this wild turnaround. And I always kind of compared I'm knock on wood, fortunate enough to not have experienced any kind of insane, trauma. And does that mean my personal victories aren't as big? And the answer is no. Whatever your low points in life or those pivotal moments are for you, they matter and they can be incredibly powerful. So anyway,
I love that.
A
No.
segue there. Yeah, it's something that I think we all, if we sit and think about, we might catch ourselves doing sometimes. But especially those of us who are seeking growth and wanting to better our lives. But I was at kind of a lower point in life, and I had done the whole college thing, studied health and nutrition as it was kind of just a natural thing for me. And I took some time off after school, did some traveling, and I, believe it or not, guys, believe it or not, I kept seeing this ad on Facebook, of all things, that kept directing me towards this certain certification and school of study. And like many, I kind of kept browsing over it, and these are just ads and scams or something, I'm sure, but it wouldn't quit. It wouldn't go away. It kept grabbing my interest every time I would see it. And so I got on the phone with a graduate and started talking to this organization about what they do and what health coaching is, what holistic health coaching is. And for the first time in my life, I felt like, wow, I think I could do this as maybe like a job or a way to make money. And for those of you who don't know me, ever since I was, 16 years old, I've been in the restaurant industry because it was flexible, it was great money, it allowed me to travel and live a life that really I enjoyed. But I had no aspirations in my career. And a part of me was like, am I going to be working in the restaurants the rest of my life? Nothing else excites me. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that very easily could have happened. But I just had nothing pulling at me that excited me. The idea of sitting at a desk or working even for the same restaurant for, 10 years was just like, oof, not exciting at all. So I came across this opportunity. Long story short, came out the other end as a certified holistic health coach. And from there, my business continued to evolve. Who I worked with continued to evolve. And I started to kind of reverse engineer my own experience, my own journey. And we are all experts in our own experience. Nobody can take that away from us. So I really wanted to ask myself who I wanted to help and how I wanted to help them and what I wanted to help them do. And I couldn't help but go back to the restaurant industry and help people like my younger self, people that I worked with who I knew were struggling, who were feeling tired and burnt out, and the future overwhelmed them. A lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but myself and many others that I worked alongside with, we had this feeling in common, like we were maybe, there was something else out there for us or something else that was calling for us, but we didn't know what it was. Was it going back to school? Was it like starting my own thing? Was it, maybe moving restaurants? We all had this pull of something else. And it was very clear to me that inside the industry, there were people who were more than happy to be there, who showed up every day, excited to serve their customers. And then there were people like me who, cried on the way to work, who knew they were in the wrong place, who knew that there was something that this world, that my soul was asking for me to do. And I didn't just know what it was, but I couldn't ignore that voice anymore. So the way my coaching has evolved and who I help now is really a direct reflection of the experience that I've been on, and really filling that need to I think, underserved, no pun intended, an overlooked community of people working in the restaurant world who are living crazy fast lives, who it's a hard job, it's a demanding job. And those are my people, and I want to help them because I think there's so many hidden gems and people with so much to give to this world, and maybe the restaurant isn't exactly fulfilling them in the way that they are looking for. So I've moved in a matter of 4.5 years. I started out as a holistic health coach, and I still use many of those foundational practices in the work that I do with people in their careers, in their fulfillment, creating more of a life on purpose in the coaching that I do now, which is focused more on career stuff in folks inside that industry. So that was a very long-winded answer of where I came from and what I'm doing and why I chose that route. But it feels like home to me. And when I feel at home in my business and who I'm helping, I think it allows me to show up even more big and exciting and help my clients with what they're working on. So I'm really happy to be here and be working with these people.
I love it. Thank you so much, Molly, for sharing that. I love that. And I'm just so grateful for people like you doing what you love and helping people. And I think especially now in 2020, I just popped in my mind that, it's kind of a weird time where we're all just trying to figure it out. And I feel like it's definitely a year where we all have been pushed out of our comfort levels. But I think now going into 2021, we need to refocus a little bit, because right now we're kind of comfortable. We've got through 2020, almost 30 more days, but we've gotten through what we have so far. And I think the biggest thing for 2021 is to be still reaching out of our comfort zones and to shake up this, comfort level of, any sort of comfort that we found in 2020, and we're like holding on to it for dear life. I think the next step is going to be to uplift that and up level. And as scary as that sounds, it's like, if we haven't seen what we've already accomplished and grown from through the struggles and the challenges of 2020, if we can get through those and be living in this pandemic right now, can you imagine of like the greatness that's ahead if we can just harness what we have inside of us and use it to our potential? And just like, I don't know. I don't even know if I am speaking English about this, but it's just,
no, it makes
I feel like
sense.
we settle sometimes. And I think that if this is us in our comfort zone during a pandemic, can you imagine what we can do as a world?
Yes. Yes.
That's my biggest thing for 2021. We got to do it.
I think that's such a great intention. And again, like the timing of this event and like you spearheading this, I think is just perfect. Because this past year, I really look at it as like our world being in full on survival mode, like figuratively and literally, like, and a lot of us found new parts, hard parts, dark parts, low parts of ourselves that we, thank goodness, haven't maybe had to explore before or face. And I saw this really funny meme. It was like when the pandemic first hit and shutdown first happened, it was like, face my feelings, consider my, like, contemplate, the happiness of my life, or, start a meditation practice. And it said, no, I'm going to learn how to bake bread. Like,
right. It's like anything but that. No,
anything but like turn inward. No, I will like learn how to make my own darn clothes, for crying out loud.
I love it.
Right. But
so true.
Yeah. And I think this year has really, it's been, when I'm going through personal hard things, or when I think about the world going through hard things, one tool that I can offer anybody listening is to jump ahead 5 years. I want you to jump ahead 5 years in your mind. And I want you to see yourself, maybe it's with friends or with loved ones, and I want you to be telling the story about this time in your life. Maybe you're experiencing a really hard personal thing, or maybe the pandemic has completely rocked you. I want you to jump ahead, and I want you to, again, think about what the story was. What is the meaning of what's going on right now? How do you want to tell this story? What impact did it have in your life? Because we are going to get through this, no matter what the quote unquote new normal is, or what life starts to look like in 2021 and beyond. But I think it can help us to get out of the overthinking and the fear based thinking. We can get really consumed by what's happening in our world right now, because it can, if you think about it, it can be really scary. Sometimes I've caught myself in stores and I look around and everyone's wearing a mask, and I'm like,
and gloves and all the things
one time or something. It's eerie. And if I let my mind go there, it will go there, and it will create some big, hairy, scary stories. But if I zoom out and I think 5 years from now, like, it allows us to kind of get a better grasp. It creates some distance there to like, okay, this is just something this world is going through, that I'm going through. And there's going to be another side of this, whatever that looks like. And what is a story I want to tell about who I've been, what I learned, how I treated people, and how I took care of myself in this time. So it's a crazy time. It's a very interesting time. And I actually, I think there's going to be some really incredibly positive things that come from this, that maybe we can't see right now. Maybe it's the way that we educate our children. Maybe it's how we are doing business with each other. I really think there's going to be some beautiful things coming from this, and it's not a matter of if, but when. And I look forward to that time. So.
Totally. And it's kind of like what you said with coaching. It's like taking the blinders, or it's also like opening the perspective, because like, I feel like a lot of us can be consumed in a lot of things, whether it be from our career to our life to 2020, the pandemic, family. And it's like, we're all like looking in a little hole, and you need to zoom out so you can see the full picture, so you can understand, because it is easy to let your mind just go to one thing. This is terrible. This is all bad stuff is happening. The world is crazy. Like, but if you just zoom out and start thinking about ways that you can help just one person, just, you know, and also whether that's like uplifting someone or spreading kindness, telling someone how, like, you know, giving someone a compliment, holding the door for someone, being kind to your neighbors, asking the elderly neighbors in your building if you can go shopping for them or your neighbors. And I think that just little acts of kindness is what is going to really turn this world around. And like just being there for each other. If there's one thing that I feel like has been a huge thing is that, you know, social media brought us really all together, you know, during the pandemic, but at the same time, it really has disconnected us as well. And I think that as humanity, we all really need to get back into helping each other and being there for one another and community. And that's why we're building Get Uplifted, because I really just want to make a community through fitness, wellness, beauty. I mean, those are generic terms, but it's just coming from a place of love, honestly, and just creating the space that everyone can feel safe in and, you know, just be there for one another, because social media has caused a lot of people to just divide families and drive people against each other. And I really feel like we all just need to take steps to use this technology and social media for the positive. And, you know, yes, we are Zooming because it's a pandemic, but we're Zooming so that we can spread some love and kindness and light and wellness throughout the world so that we can help uplift each other.
Yes, I think that's a perfect, like, just linking all of our themes that we just talked about.
True. What are some of the tools that you that have helped you with everyday life, you know, just kind of navigating this time? And then another question is, what's one thing from this conversation you would like someone to take away going into 2021?
Awesome. Okay. So the first thing that came to my mind as far as tools that have helped me throughout this past year, I definitely don't believe there's a one size fits all thing, right?
Totally.
I mean, I think meditation's awesome. Exercise for sure. It's probably number one on my list, because guys, there's never a walk, time and sunshine, a sweat session that you regret. And I dare someone to
preach, girl.
That. So I think, you know, I mean, exercise is such a vague tool. Like, yeah, go move your body for sure. That's would be my recommendation. But one thing that I think is really powerful and important in a time where there's so much unpredictability, I think creating routine for ourselves is very handy. I think it's going to satisfy, and it has for me satisfied that very primitive part of our brain that loves predictability. Because and for, I mean, I'm 32, and for the majority that I can remember, life has been pretty predictable, like for the most part. This pandemic, this, you know, worldwide thing we're all going through, I think shook up that primal part of us that felt safe. And we're like, are we safe? What's going on here? And so I think we have the power, and it can be so helpful for us to create routine for ourselves and remind ourselves that we're safe. It's okay. And every day we have these certain activities or habits. And guys, it doesn't need to be excessive, okay? Just because you're home and working from home right now doesn't mean you need to do a 3-hour morning routine.
Oh, yeah.
It can be, excuse me, but I tell my clients, because we focus on morning routine very heavily, it doesn't matter what time you wake up. It doesn't matter, you know, what you're doing in the morning. It's how you're spending the first 15 to 30 minutes of your day. You're setting the tone. You're deciding who you're going to be, how you're going to respond to the world. Hopefully you're maybe stretching or taking a couple deep breaths. It does not need to be crazy, wild, these sexy habits that are going to transform your life overnight. The way we make change and the way we build ourselves up is by doing the seemingly mundane every single day. Excuse me. And there's a book out there called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Yes. And I read it. It's been a couple years since I read it, but he breaks down the power of routine and the compound effect, right? How by doing little things over time creates huge transformation and change in our life and who we're being. And so one tool or one idea or one nugget that I want people to take away or implement, maybe if you're still in this like 2020 funk, which holy crap, we're all in our own place right now. There's no right or wrong place to be in. If you're here, you're here. And if I could give you a hug, I'd give you a hug. But focus on routine. Yeah, right. Virtual hug. Focus on routine. Find things. Maybe it's like every day you love to spend time making your coffee, or maybe it's like, I've been making my own bread lately and it's so therapeutic and I do it once a week. So find routine, create it for yourself every day. Not only can it be a soothing experience, but you're going to nurture that part of our brain, that reptilian brain that's all it cares about is survival. And when you can be like, hey, it's okay. Remember we did this yesterday? Remember we got through yesterday? Remember we did this 2 days ago? Remember, we're going to be okay. We're going to do it again today, and we're going to make it through today. We kind of got to talk to ourselves like a little, it's going to be okay. And I think we have that power. Yeah, so I hope that helps someone out there and just maybe getting the juices flowing about what routine could look like for them. And if you don't know where to start with your morning, start with the first 15 minutes of your day and just find supportive, healthy habits that make
gratitude lists. They can do gratitude lists are great.
Oh my God, especially during this year. 3 things you're grateful for, right? Boom, boom. That takes, hopefully just like a couple seconds or a minute or so, right?
And just shake up your mind and just like get you out of the funk. Because guys, listen, are you here at Get Uplifted 2020? Are you watching this? You woke up today. That number one is why we should be grateful. Like you are breathing, you are here, you can see, you can hear, like you are here at 2020, at Get Uplifted 2020. And like, that is one thing that I have really expressed gratitude towards, because I mean, it's just something that has been popping up on like a lot of things that I've been doing or studying or reading. And it's like, are you breathing? Did you wake up this morning? And I'm like, like we got to get back to the simple things, and
we really do. We really do. And I love that because look, I think perspective is so powerful. And I'm not here to diminish what people are feeling or dilute it or be like, that's not a real problem. Because we all have our things. But what helps me is I'm like, yo, my ancestors came here and holy guacamole what they went through. And the power of the human spirit and will, I think we're finding a new, we're pushing our kind of like, we're definitely finding our new mental and emotional limits right now with this pandemic. But I think as humans, we are so adaptable and we are so strong. And guys,
resilient.
We are so resilient and we're going to be just fine. I really believe that. And I think we need to be talking about that more. Like, I know when I have heard people I look up to be like, guys, we're going to be fine. It's okay. And again, not to say that as in like,
everything's okay, pretend.
Right. Not to like blanket what everyone's experiencing, but like, I think we need people being like, guys, it's okay. We're going to be okay.
100%.
Because there's so much fear and there's so much, fear sells and fear gets people like, it's so emotional. And I find such relief when I hear people be like, humanity has been through some serious shit. Okay. We're going to figure this thing out. We got to give ourselves some credit. And with that, keep taking care of yourself.
Yes.
When you wake up every day, that's an accomplishment right there with what we're going through. But it's going to be okay. And I think and maybe it's just me, maybe this is a personal, like, what I find comforting, but I think we need like leadership right now with someone being like, guys, we got this. It's cool. Like, we've been through way hard things and we're going to be good. And I think things like getting uplifted and doing this kind of leadership movement is really what people are looking for. So,
because some people are looking in the wrong places. I mean, like, I feel like there's so many people looking to the news for information. And at this point, it's like,
turn off your news, guys. That's another tool if I can give you for 2020. Please turn off your news. It's doing absolutely nothing for you at all.
All you need is to read 5 minutes, and that's all you need. You do not need that on full time. I know people who leave it on all day long, and I'm like, honestly, I'm a firm believer of you are what you put in your mind. My husband makes fun of me because I'm like, I won't watch scary things before bed. And I know it sounds crazy, and Molly and I have even talked about this, but it's so true. Like, I am a person all about you are what you put in your mind. So be careful what you put in your mind. We are also talking about you are the words you say. You have to be careful of the words you're saying. And so that's the same with like what kind of words you're allowing into your mind from the news, social media, TV, everything. I mean, there's just so much noise out there. And I think the biggest thing for Get Uplifted was to kind of tone down that noise, bring in 6 people and just really just listen to what each other are saying, provide some tools, and, just to tone down the noise, because I feel like there is so much out there. And I feel like we all have been listening to a lot of it because there was nothing else to do. We're not busy. We're like, we're home a lot more. We have more
Things
time.
were scary for a minute. We needed
information. And, and honestly, that, like you said, fear sells. And it was almost like watching a scary movie. You were just like, oh God, what's going to happen next? But we were living it. So, I think the biggest thing is just being aware of what you're consuming and what the words that are coming out of your mouth. Like, are you saying, I wish, I want? Are you saying, I can, I will? And that's something that we've talked about as well, Molly. I don't know if there's anything you want to touch on that with, the power of your words. And that's like a whole nother thing, but I'm like, hey, we're already here. Why not?
Guys, our words are, I want you to know that your subconscious mind is listening to everything you are saying about yourself, to yourself, and other people. So pay attention. One thing I give my clients to nibble on is whatever follows the two words, I am, what are you saying about yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have this loop, right, where our subconscious mind is listening and it's saying, oh, I'm always late, or I suck at basketball, or what have you, insert your example here. And your subconscious, all it does is look for evidence of what you are. It wants to prove you right. It wants to quote unquote support you. Mm-hmm. So if you're saying, negative, awful things about yourself, which, hey, we all struggle with this inner dialogue, but just be very careful about, you get to decide who you are. Nicole, you posted something awesome the other day. It was like, you are up to you. You get to decide who you're being and how you show up in this life. And especially when you start to get clear on what you want, as I talked about the bridge example earlier, your goals, the vision that you have for yourself, no matter how crazy or wild or, again, unrealistic it is, there comes with that an identity shift, a change. Mm-hmm. This doesn't mean like a new person overnight, but it does require you to start to evaluate your life and evaluate how you're showing up in your relationships, and evaluate, is your career fulfilling you in a way that you want and you need and is possible. And it really does. Our words have so much weight with that in either keeping us where we are or nurturing us in a place where we want to go. So yeah, +1 to everything you said about words, Nicole. That could be like a whole nother
a whole nother talk. And also I kind of riffing off of that was just I jumped into my mind about talking about listening to the whisper, your intuition. And I also feel like with 2020, a lot of us, our jobs, my job is completely evaporated, and we've had a lot of time to sit and really get clear on some things, because before we were all busy. I'm busy. I'm hustling. I'm this, I'm that. I'm so busy. I can't even. And now we've been forced to slow down. And I feel like that's kind of how Uplifted came about. It was this little whisper that was going on inside. And it was something I did a little bit in March, and I was like, the timing's not right. And literally 2 weeks ago, I texted Molly and was like, I think I'm doing this. Would you want to speak at it? And she said yes. And it's because of her yes, and because of the intuition and the voice that was speaking to me, Uplifted is a thing right now. And we were saying, even if it just helps one person, that is the main goal. And someone did say the worst case scenario is you help someone. And I love that beyond any words can explain, because we're really just trying to help people here and just kind of bring community and uplift each other by fixing the way we think about ourselves, our self-talk. And also another thing we're going to talk on is finding your passion and, creating a life you love, and letting go of the fear of limiting beliefs and just jumping into the life and the career you want. That's the goal.
It is. And like you said, this year, these things can either, I heard this thing once, I think of it often. It says something to the effect of, people change for one of two reasons. They change out of inspiration or out of desperation. And this year, I feel like has been, it's put a lot of people in a very desperate place. And I don't mean, what I mean by that, and what my interpretation or what I want to, kind of define that is people have been to new lows or have viewed their life in a much different way that they had before, because they haven't had to. And so yes, the world has forced us to look at life, look at what's important to us differently. And from that, like you said, Nicole, when our jobs evaporate, or, you know, we have to go live at home now for extended period of time, you do start to look at things differently. And if you have the bravery and courage to, guys, oh God, okay. Finding fulfillment in your life and deciding that you want to live a life on purpose that's in charge of you is probably one of the hardest things you can ever do for yourself. Oh, yeah. It is so much easier. I'm using air quotes for anyone who's just listening and see this. It's easier to go through the motions, to not address these whispers, to just show up, clock in, clock out, go home, watch my Netflix show, go to bed.
Yeah.
Right? Easy decisions, hard life. Hard decisions, like throw together a giant virtual event in 2 weeks, right? Ooh, like hard decisions, excitement, easy life, you find flow, you find fulfillment. And so going off the whole idea of limiting beliefs, which are these very deeply ingrained, oftentimes blind ideas that we have about ourselves and what we're capable of, what we're capable of experiencing, doing, being, and having in this life, we can't always see them. And it causes us to live, kind of live in this bubble. And if anybody hasn't read the book, I'm gonna make another book recommendation, is
all the books.
Yeah, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Fantastic book. It's on my bookshelf here somewhere. I gift it to every single one of my clients because he talks about the 4 main reasons why we choose to stay down here. And it's fantastic. I think it's going to help. I have no doubt it will help anybody who decides to get their hands on that book. But what was I talking about?
Limiting beliefs.
Thank you, limiting beliefs.
That's okay.
and like you were saying, doing hard things, deciding to go out there and maybe pursue a passion or pursue a direction that you feel like is a little bit crazy, but oh my gosh, something is pulling me. So this voice won't quit. And that is, I commend anybody who goes out on that limb, because like Nicole said, it can be hard, it can be scary, it can be unknown, but you will never regret it. You will never, ever, ever regret it. And so this year has, I think, caused people to have those hard moments of introspection and reflection. But holy moly, just the innovation that is already coming out this year, whether it's whether it's how we're educating our kids, how we are in our communities, how we're connecting with each other. I think is beautiful. And I commend the people out there who had whispers this year of ideas or solutions, or, there's this wonderful quote, and it says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what lights you up and go do that, because the world needs people that are lit up, that are on fire, no matter what that is, right? We need people in restaurants. We need people who are lit up about making a damn good martini. We need people who are excited to go out and deliver the mail to their communities. We need people who are who
first responders, who have the passion of helping others.
Yes, we need people like you who are passionate about makeup and being creative. We need no career is more, of course we have essential workers right now, which that's a very real thing. But finding what lights you up is just as important as what lights that person up over there. So don't compare your success. Don't compare your path. Don't compare your accolades. Like, we need to really rewire this whole idea of what success is and what fulfillment means. And it really has to come from in here. And we're just not taught how to find that for ourselves. So I hope 2020 has inspired and shaken some people up, which I know that it has. And I think that stuff is contagious. We're going to start to see things come out, and it's going to inspire. And again, I think it's like what they say about a forest fire. When a forest fire happens, actually creates rebirth for a lot of new things. And while it's a very devastating experience, it can really be supportive to the soil, to the nutrients, to the earth. Yes, there's loss that happens. Yes, there's damage, and it's not a necessarily pleasant thing, but positivity in some way does come from it. And I feel like we're experiencing this giant, our earth is experiencing this like forest fire, if you will. And we're in it right now. We're still seeing loss. It's going to take time, but there's going to be so much beauty and light that come. I mean, call me like in my own world right now, in my little cloud 9, but I really believe that. And I choose to believe that. I can choose we can all choose to look at the world as a hairy, scary, anxiety, fear ridden place, or we can choose to see it for what it is, take it day by day, and believe that there is some really good stuff right around the corner that we really can't see right now, but it's in the mix and it's on the way. I really believe that.
I love that. And I agree with you. I mean, like, we have the choice, like, we are the writers of our life, and we have we have the choice to decide if this is going to be in our favor or against us. And, it seems like a lot is against us, but I mean, it's how you show up each day, like you said, with the morning routines and setting up 15 minutes of creating the space and how you want to show up to your day. And the biggest thing is working on you so that you can show up for the world, because that's what the world needs, like you said, with lighting it up and for finding purpose and, passion in a career you love. And I definitely think that 2020 has definitely shaken up everybody and has given us a time to slow down and pause. But I think that we all need to take this time, as much as it's hard, like we said, to look inside and to really use this to see how we can grow the most and how we can better this world. Because I really do feel like, as bad as everything seems and dark, I really do feel like what you said, with there's light ahead, and that I really do believe this world is going in a better direction, in all honesty. And I'm so excited to see where it leads. And if anything, we can have the choice to look forward rather than, look back at all the challenges and stuff. But we can take what we've learned through those challenges and carry them on with us into 2021. And I'm not saying that like January 1st, 2021 is going to be bright and shiny, new and fabulous. No.
Right.
And it's like what Molly says, where, you put in the work, and we're putting in the work right now, because why wait until January 1st to say, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Honestly, like, let's put in the work now. Let's work on ourselves, because when we start working on us, we can help other people, and we can show up to the best version of ourselves. And that's the thing. It is scary to work on yourself. It is scary to look inward, to take time and have so much time that you're like, I'm here with myself. But like you said, when the jobs disappear, when like your purpose or like what you thought was your purpose in this life disappears, where do you get to fall back on? And that is you. You are your home. And you have a purpose, and we need to just look inside. And maybe, like, a lot of things are changing. Like, I'm a makeup artist, but I'm going to say it on here now. I'm in school to become a personal trainer, nutritionist, and virtual health coach. Guys, things are changing, and I'm running an event right now. The skies that are the limit. If you have to like tell yourself, like, you're hearing these crazy whispers, trust your gut, trust your intuition. I think that this 2020 has slowed us down so that we can. Yes, it's very scary, but I think that if we harness what's inside and let this true light shine, we're going to just uplift the whole world, honestly.
I don't really know what to say after that.
I don't even know what I said. I was just like, Wah! No, but it's the truth. I mean, like, and that's why I really felt so passionate about making Uplifted. And it's so crazy. Like you said, in 2 weeks, I mean, the biggest thing too is that if you lean into the voice and your calling and your purpose and your passion, it's crazy that when you just take that first step, you get a yes. And if it's the right direction, and if that is the right direction, you will be so surprised at how things unfold. The universe unfolds. God literally has been collaborating with me on this, and we are like figuring this out as we go. And I really, honestly, like, if you lean into that voice, that spirit, that intuition, the universe, whatever you believe in, it doesn't have to be anything. Honestly, you just trust that, you will shock yourself at what you can give to this world. And that's all I have. Like,
I mean, yeah, I think I couldn't have said, I mean, you said it beautifully. And I think it's a wonderful way just to like wrap up just this idea that, yes, what you're going through right now, yes, this year's been crazy and hard and devastating in so many ways, but we have that power within ourselves to make that change in our life, right? And to listen to those whispers and listen to the intuition and those, what our soul is really just screaming at us for, right? I heard once, it's like our soul speaks in yes and no's, and our brain, fear, screams in like paragraphs as to why, no, this won't work, no. And it's learning how to listen to that voice and build that muscle. And we wouldn't be here if you hadn't done that. So I think
thank you. And we wouldn't be here if Molly didn't say the first yes. So I'm just saying, like, thank you for your time and energy and everything you have to share. And I mean, I'm just so grateful to be having these authentic conversations with you, and just ways for people to find some tools that help them just day to day, because hey guys, sometimes we're strong as hell and sometimes we are down real low on rock bottom, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's realizing where you are and helping yourself to get back up, or helping other people to get back up. And I think that's the biggest thing, and the goal of Get Uplifted is to just be there for each other, support each other, community. And yes, we are talking about wellness and fitness and beauty, but I mean, like I said, those are generic terms for whatever they mean to you. So I just hope that this is something that, everyone can take something away. And even if it's just to, you're sitting alone in your apartment or your house, or your parents' basement, and you are feeling super alone and you just feel like you're hanging out with Molly and I today, I hope that we have brought you some, positivity, some love. We're sending you all of our love, and I wish we could all get together for a real event. Hopefully one day down the road, Get Uplifted will be a real event, not a virtual one. But until then, we meet on virtual spaces, and just know that we love you and we support all of you so much. And we're so excited to see what 2021 has in store for you guys, and for all the amazing things that this world is going to accomplish through helping each other and just coming from a place of love. Thank you so much, Molly, for being a part of Get Uplifted. We really appreciate you coming on here, being the first guest, the first speaker, all the firsts. Where can people find you?
Yes, well, thank you for having me. Again, I'm so thankful that you reached out to me and asked me to be a part of this awesome event. But people can find me mostly on Instagram. I love Instagram, guys. It's so much fun. And
her Instagram is beautiful, and it is literally all the knowledge. So literally every day it's like a mini lesson. So highly suggest following her.
Well, thank you. I love, I really focus on, like you're doing here, Nicole, community. I love community. I love getting to know my people. I love Instagram stories and being silly behind the scenes stuff, but I also love giving people value and giving people something that they can really take that day and implement into their mindset or into their life. And I think that's really important. There's so much noise out there, and I want to make sure that people who are giving me their time, which is the most valuable resource, I want to make sure that getting something from when they hang out with me. So my Instagram handle is @Molly, MOLLY .k.Egan, EGAN. That's my last name. So if you come follow me, please say hi. I love DMs and
introduce yourself.
Yeah, we're buds. So come say hi there. And that's really the only place I would send people at this stage, because keep it easy.
We're working on a website. It will be done soon, so don't you worry.
I think it's great, and I think Uplift is just, it ties in perfectly to what you're doing now in December of 2020, and I can't wait to see what 2021 brings for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Molly. I can't wait to see what it has for you in store, and for everyone that was here to follow us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time to tune in and watch this. I know you won't regret it if you just tune in for a few minutes and just hear little blips from each video of just different tools, seeing people who with friendly faces who are just telling you how it is and having authentic conversations. And we just want to make this a space that everyone can feel comfortable in and find community in. And make sure to reach out to us on Get Uplifted 2020 Instagram, getuplifted.com, and let's start talking to each other, introducing ourselves, and creating more community, so we can just check in on our friends and family members and just see how everyone's doing, so we can keep this momentum going through 2020 into 2021.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thanks for having me, Nicole.
Thank you so much for being here, Molly. It's always such a pleasure, and I'm just so grateful for you and everything you're doing. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Sounds good. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.